Hi besties, my name is Maddie and welcome back to my channel. So today I want to talk about some of the books I've read on Kindle Unlimited recently. We're just kind of rapid fire go through them, what they're about, and if I talk about them, obviously I recommend them and I like them. These books are also in no specific order, so we're just gonna go through my list, okay? So first up on the list we have King of Greed by Anna Wong. I loved this book. So it's kind of Marriage on the Rocks, Second Chance. So this follows our two main characters, Dominic and Alessandra, and they kind of fell in love when they were in college, when Dominic basically had nothing and he's worked his entire life to become like the rich, powerful man that he is. And he's kind of always put their relationship on the back burner, thinking like she's fine, she's never complained, yada, yada, yada. And one day Alessandra's like, I've had enough. I'm tired of you skipping out on everything. I never get to see you. I'm dipping. And now it's going to be him pining and groveling for her. It is so good. I love them so much. Anna Wong's writing is super easy to read, super easy to get into, and I think that's what made the story flow so well. And I loved this Second Chance, Marriage on the Rocks type of feel. Usually I'm not a big fan of like Second Chance, but I think I like the pining and the groveling, so I might be changing my mind. Then I have Love Unwritten by Lauren Asher. Again, love this book. Single dad nanny romance. I mean, what more could you ask for? So this follows our two main characters, Ellie and Raphael, and then Raphael's son, Nico. And Ellie is obviously his nanny. They end up going on a family vacation in Hawaii, I believe. And yeah, what can you do? Forced proximity. I love the way Ellie loved Nico. I love the way Ellie loved Raphael at the end. I love the way Raphael loved his son and was always trying to be the best, even though it wasn't coming off in like the correct way. And Nico was really struggling, but still they were able to work on it together and come together at the end of it, because I love that he was such a trying dad in this. I also love the depth that this book went into because it handled some harder topics and it was done with like such care, and I loved reading about that and how they loved each other through everything. And I mean, definitely a book I recommend. So then I have Empire of Desire by Rena Kent. I love this one. So this one is age gap, it's dad's best friend, it has the forbidden aspect, it has marriage of convenience. I mean, it has a lot of tropes in there and they are done so well. So this follows our two main characters, Nathaniel and Gwen. And Nathaniel and Gwen's father have been best friends, I think like majority of their lives, and then something happens to Gwen's dad and he ends up in a coma, and he's a big powerful businessman, and his partner is obviously Nathaniel. And in order for his company or business not to be taken, Nathaniel and Gwen decide that they're going to get married to keep like the business in the family, I guess you could say. And Gwen has always had a crush on Nathaniel, and he has kind of started to fall for her. It's basically just their relationship not trying to cross those lines, and I mean, it's so good. I love an age gap book. I love the tension that it sometimes creates, and the tension was done so well in this because they do fight it for quite a bit, I believe, and it's not like they just jump each other's bones as soon as they get like the okay. It's a little bit more like, oh, should we? No, we shouldn't. Oh, maybe. No, we should. You know, one of those things. So definitely if you want that angsty tension age gap book, definitely check this one out. Then I have The Power Play by Maddie Danielle. So I loved this one. So this is a hockey romance. She's also a cam girl. Kind of hidden identity because they don't know it's the other person. It was so good. The last spicy scene specifically, jaw on the floor. So this follows our two main characters, Audrey and Charlie. And Audrey is this, I don't know what, I want to say maybe like an OnlyFans, but I don't know if they call it that in the books, like basically like a spicy account. And she wears like a mask so no one knows who she is. And then she has this one guy who always gets on with her that wants to like video chat with her. And they kind of have a tiny little relationship. And then one day Audrey has some like house trouble. She's no longer able to live in her house, so she needs a place to stay for a few weeks. And her best friend is like, why don't you stay with one of my boyfriend's teammates? He's got a spare room for you. And then in comes Charlie, our MMC, and he's like, I guess that's fine, not knowing she is the girl that he always watches. And it's going to be their little relationship figuring that out. And I mean, it is so good. It is so spicy. It's very black cat, golden retriever. He's very inexperienced. She's the one like in control. Loved it. Then we have Ruthless Empire by Rena Kent. So this follows Silver and Cole, and they are step siblings. So already tension is high, and they hate each other. They don't like each other one little bit, but they are always seem to be drawn to each other. I really enjoyed this one because I didn't know there was going to be kind of like a suspenseful little bit into it, because It is dual POV, so it follows Cole, Silver's, and then Dollmaster's point of view, and that is Silver's stalker. And I mean, it was so good because you have the tension between Cole and Silver not liking each other and not wanting to cross any of those lines, but like lines get a little blurred. And then you also have Silver kind of liking the stalker, who she doesn't know who her stalker is, because she likes that attention because she's not really getting it elsewhere. And I mean, it is so good. And who the Dollmaster was, jaw on the floor. I was not expecting it at all. So if you love a little more romantic suspense, definitely check this one out. And I think it is my favorite in the Royal Elite series because, I mean, I love them. Who's home? So we are about to have back-to-back single dad romances, but you know me, I love them. We have The Way You Shine by Amelia Chasen. So this follows Delaney and Cole, and Cole is looking for a nanny, obviously, for his little girl, and he's not liking anyone that's been coming forward. They don't really seem like they'd be good fits. They all seem they kind of want Cole more than they want his daughter. So he's like, I really need to find someone that wants to just spend time with my daughter. So in comes Delaney. She's this wild girl. She's a ball of sunshine. And Cole is immediately like, I don't know if this would be a good fit. She's like, just let me try it. If you don't like me, you can fire me. And he's like, okay, we'll see. And Cole's little girl obviously ends up falling in love with Delaney. And then Delaney is going through some like personal stuff. She's living out of her car. She's just gotten out of a very toxic relationship where the guy really didn't care about her, didn't like take her feelings in consideration. Cole ends up finding out and is like, listen, the only way you can nanny for me is if you live in my house, so you're not living in your car, because he doesn't want to let her know that he knows that. And it's just their little relationship, and I loved it so much. Any single dad romance I will eat up, and this one was done extremely well. Then I also have Learn Your Lesson by Candy Steiner. Loved this one. This is a hockey romance. She's inexperienced, so there's spicy lessons. I mean, so good. Hey! Let's hear more if they're putting our power back on. So I don't know kind of where I was. So I believe I was talking about Learn Your Lesson by Katie Steiner. So this follows our two main characters. I do not know what their names are. I believe his name is Will, but I cannot for the life of me figure out what her name is. Yeah, so Will is an NHL goalie, and he does not like any of the nannies that he's ever hired. He thinks that they all just want to be with him. Fair enough. One day, his one nanny was supposed to pick up his little girl from school. Doesn't show up. So the little girl's preschool teacher, kindergarten teacher, whatever she is, brings her to practice and is like, listen, school's out for the summer. I can be your nanny for the summer, for the time being. And he's like, I guess you already know her. Can live in our little guest house. And it's basically their little romance. There's spicy lessons. It's so hot. I had such a good time with it. It does handle grief a little bit as well, so it's not all just smut. There's a little bit of plot in there, but I basically just remember the spicy scenes. But what can you do? So then I have Take My Hand by McKay Marie. This is a rock star romance. It's friends to lovers. It's mutual healing. I mean, I had such a good time with it. This is my second rock star book, and I loved it. So this follows our two main characters, Hayden and Carter. Carter is the band's photographer for Whispering Me Nothings, and Hayden is the bass player. So this is basically just following Hayden and Carter. Carter has just gotten out of a very bad relationship, and she is now living life on her own. And Hayden has gone through some very traumatic things that has given him a lot of trauma, I guess you'd say. So search up your trigger warnings before reading this one, because it does handle darker topics from both characters. And the way that they heal separately, the way they heal together, the way they come together to like work on things, I mean, I loved it. And the spicy scenes in this were spicy, let me tell you. You know how everyone always talks about like, oh, I love when our MMC gets a tattoo for the FMC. What if he covers up a tattoo for our FMC because she's kind of freaked out about what it is? I gasp. Definitely a book I recommend. Let's talk about another spicy little book that I loved. So Somewhere to Stay by Grace Turner. I have no idea again what these two main characters are, but let me tell you about it. So this one is Best Friend's Mom. It's age gap, it's forced proximity, and I love that this age gap where we had the older woman and then like a younger guy. Love that. So our MMC in this is best friends with this guy, and he goes home with him for the summer because I think his home life is a little rough or something like that. He's in college. He can't go home. Something along those lines. So his best friend's like, come stay with me and my mom. It'll be fine. We'll hang out. She's great. She won't care. He's like, okay, that's fine. So they're all three hanging out. He's very attracted to the mom, and he's like, oh my gosh, love this. And his best friend is like, dude, I'm so sorry. I have to take this internship this summer. I can't pass up on this opportunity. Are you okay to just stay here with my mom? And his friend in our MMC is obviously like, yeah, that's fine, dude. Go do what you gotta do. And it's now just going to be him and our FMC living in this house together. And I loved it. The counter scene in this, sweating. I love this take on age gap. And if you have any book recommendations where we have an older woman with a younger guy, please let me know because I loved it. Then lastly, I have one kind of thrillery book. So I have The Stillwater Girls by Minka Kent. I believe I'm saying that last name correctly. I'm not sure if I am. So this book follows these two sisters and they live off the grid, okay? They don't have a TV, they don't have running water, they don't have a cell phone, they don't know what any of this stuff is. It's not like they know what it is and they just don't use it. Like they have no idea that like civilization exists outside their little cottage in the woods that they live in. And they live with another sister and their mom. And one day that sister gets sick and the mom's like, I have to take her somewhere. You girls stay here. We will be back. And I want to say a few weeks or a few months go by and they don't show back up. So they're really deciding on like what they're going to do because they're running out of food. They don't know. They have no way of contacting anyone. They don't know what to do. And then one day this man shows up and is trying to break into their cabin and they're like, excuse me. So they dip and they decide that they're going to run away and try to find help somewhere. And they stumble into like our now world. And they have no idea like what anything is. They don't understand like people, why they're wearing these certain clothes. Real weird. They stumble upon this woman's house and it kind of goes from there because it is told in dual POV from one sister and the woman's house that they knock on their door. It is good. I think I would have liked this book a lot more if I would have lowered my expectations for the ending because I just have always read Frida McFadden's like thriller books, so the endings are always outlandish. So I was just waiting for something to be like thrown in your face for no reason, and it was just wrapped up nicely in it. It's a feel-good thriller book, I guess you could say, because it was crazy 95% of the way through, and then the last 5%, everything's tied up in a nice little bow and it's not like outlandish. So I think I enjoyed that type of ending more. I just was expecting something to make me not like it. So I think that's why I was like, oh, that's all it is. But if you want to check out a thriller book, definitely pick up this one. So those are some of my most recent KU reads that I've been loving recently. Drop a comment, let me know any of your Kindle Unlimited book recs. I would love to know them. I'm just trying to get back into KU. So please let me know some of your favorite Kindle Unlimited books that you think I should read because I need some help right now. Well, thank you so much for watching today's video. Make sure to like and subscribe, and I'll see you in my next one. Love yous!